Scotch, bourbon, and rye. If they like a bottle, they'll tell you why.
Hey everybody! Welcome to another episode of Trenny C. I'm Trenny. This is C. And we're here with another review for you guys. We kind of figured we should do a bottle kill.
Before it's all gone.
Before it's all gone. We haven't actually really reviewed this one. We've talked about it.
We've shared it with many others along the way. We did a Dram Club with it, but it deserves its own review, and specifically for the fact that this bottle is now going into the U.S. market.
Totally.
For the first time, and this is the Gooderham and Worts 49 Wellington. It is aged for 19 years.
That's huge.
It is 49%.
That's huge.
And one thing that's interesting about it is it's a 4-grain blend as well.
Yeah, so it's got the red winter wheat.
Yeah, that's the special kind of wheat that goes in there.
Yeah, it's hardy for us Canadian winters.
That's right.
It got the rye, it's got the barley, and it's got the corn in there. So it's kind of got mingling of all the delicious things that make up whiskey.
And the thing about Canadian whiskey is that those grains are distilled and aged separately.
Correct.
And then blended together at the end of the process, as opposed to a mash bill in the bourbon world.
Yeah, exactly.
Where everything kind of goes in as a recipe together.
Or single malts where it's just one grain at one distillery.
That's right. Yeah. So it's a unique and fun opportunity for the American market to get into some really good Canadian whiskey. I think that's the complaint in the U.S. market, is that they really only have like Crown Royal and some of the...
Which, by the way, we've kind of learned that some of the basics are pretty damn good. So this is a part of the Northern Border Collection.
Yeah.
For
2019.
2019. This one here was the 11 Souls. You'll notice it's similar labeling and things like that. Mm. And that was the Northern Border Collection for the year previous. So yeah, they kind of keep coming out with these insanely delicious whiskeys. Let's pour
let's kill it.
Yeah.
Let's kill it.
Let's kill this bottle. Again, think about those stats. 49% alcohol. It's really great. 19 years old, and honestly, the price on it was not outrageous.
It really wasn't. I think it was fairly reasonable.
I think it was in just the $100 range.
About $100. Yeah.
Yeah, where you buy a 19-year-old single malt Scotch, you're paying that. It's like buying an engagement ring.
Yes.
That's 4 months salary or whatever.
Sorry for your girlfriend.
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't afford a ring this year.
I had to buy some Scotch.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. There she is. Look at that.
It doesn't say anything on these bottles about natural color or any of that kind of thing, but this is truly just like a nice golden sunshine in the glass.
It is. And 49 Wellington is actually like the headquarters of Gooderham and Worts, at least back in the day. What's it called, like the Flatiron Building or something? Like it's a big, red brick building. That's
kind of the inspiration behind the color of the label.
Yeah, it's a landmark. So
in Toronto on 49 Wellington Street.
There you go. So that's hence the name, hence the 49%. It all kind of is coming together, right? Yeah. So let's hope that the whiskey does as well.
Thanks to Dr. Don again for making fantastic whiskey. Here we go. On the nose. Oh, man.
It's got that house style of J.P. Weiser's corn, which is just delicious in its own right. Just the corn element of it.
The spices that they bring out of the wood, I think, is a really big part of it. Like, again, like you said, because they age all these separate elements completely separately. Mm-hmm. That corn component, which could be a higher component compared to the other, grains in the bottle, but that is the signature thing that makes up Weiser's and Gooderham and Worts and things like that.
I almost feel like there's a bit of an almond extract kind of.
For sure, it's a little bit marzipan-y.
Yeah, for sure. And that wheat, there's like this softness. There's this softness of like, for 49%, like my nose, like
totally.
There's nothing like burning or anything
nothing
like that.
It's
very mellow and soft and well-rounded.
Yeah. It's got like a little bit of that kind of like creme brulee style caramelized sugar cream thing going on.
Like a vanilla, right?
Yeah, along with those like kind of baking spices, a little clovey, A little like allspice.
I think a bourbon lover is gonna really like this too.
Totally, yeah.
Like it has a bit of a bourbon nose to it.
Yeah,
in a
it does.
way, right? Like,
and it has those, like bourbons, are 51% corn always.
Mm-hmm.
And this most likely is probably a higher percentage of corn. But, like bourbon, they use other components.
as well.
Very cool, yeah.
And like on this one, I'm not getting a big spicy rye blast. Just like like nice spices, but not like a hot or peppery kind of thing on the nose.
No, it's got a little bit of like that kind of yeasty kind of thing.
Yeah,
like
that's like a Gooderham and Worts signature almost.
Yeah.
Like, that's almost like how each whiskey has its like house style.
Mm-hmm.
Gooderham and Worts has this like yeasty
like kind of bready, yeasty, sort of like sweet.
It's almost like a mature age kind of thing, right? Like,
The more you get into Canadian whiskey, you guys, like this is the big thing, is that yes, there are the basics like Crown Royal, and they make good products, and Canadian Club, and all these sorts of things, and they're good. But when you kind of go a step above, you can kind of see where the Canadian whiskey world is comparable to some of the best whiskeys in the world, like in Scotland or anywhere,
For sure.
So anyway, let's get into the flavor.
Taste it.
There's where that 49% comes in. It's not crazy hot or anything like that, but it lets you know it's there.
It's lively. It's kind of like big and bold, but it's like it's got a nice sweetness to it. It's like a 7 on that kind of like sweet scale. Like it's got a little bit of like mouth presence to it.
Yeah, there's a nice viscosity to it. There's a little bit of like a tingly kind of effervescence to it. For people who aren't completely into the Canadian whiskey world yet, I think you get tricked into just seeing the sweetness, but it's realizing where those sweetnesses are coming from.
This one's also not over sweet.
No, not at all.
And there's like clearly like a nice corn content to it as well.
This is really perfectly well rounded. Good way to do a bottle kill when we can actually film it.
And like there's a little bit of like tart oakiness on the finish.
Yeah.
A little bit of like dryiness. Like there's that 19 years of age kind of like showing through, right?
Mm-hmm. I get almost like a burnt eggnog or something.
Okay,
Like
that's
it's-
like nutmeg
Yeah.
and like a little bit of cinnamon and like the creamy vanillas too.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's like,
That's kind of a good way to put it.
yeah, burnt kind of eggnog kind of thing. And I'm not a huge eggnog fan, but
this eggnog whiskey is great.
Crush this, well, clearly we have.
Yeah.
So.
I think the big thing is like if you are in the U.S. market and you can find this, I think it's worth a purchase. Like big time, considering it's a bit of a rarity. On that side of the border to like find something like this. So I would say snatch it up. Give it a try. Give Canadian whiskey a try, especially in its more premium form.
And a really good way to do that is get something like this and then get your standard whatever
And try it
and
side
do
by
it
side,
side by side, and you go, oh, okay.
Now
This is a sweetness that is really well balanced and melds really well together. And then this other one I compare it to tastes like a hangover.
Yeah, it's like it's not sweet just to like cover something up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's sweet, like
It's natural.
naturally.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
Okay.
well, he's Trenny, I'm C. Click like, subscribe, leave a comment, and we will see you. I don't know. What are you seeing?
Also, if you haven't yet, these challenge coins fit perfectly on your glass. They trap the nose in.
Brilliant.
PayPal, Trenny and C recipient. Sorry, you do it this time.
No, that's good enough. Perfect. Thanks.
PayPal, whatever, man.
Bye.
Cheers.
Trenny and C.